the city of high standards. And sometime I hope to be able to talk about who really supports this community. Thank you. With our tax dollars, 70% of our tax dollars come from residents. And I have been known as an advocate for residents. That's why I'm running for City Commission, and I ask for your vote on March 12th. Thank you very much.
Okay, who's number two? Suzanne.
I'm number two. It's great to be back here. It's deja vu all over again. I was here 4 years ago and I'm back, rested and ready, although I'm not so sure about rested, but I do have a lot of energy and I want another 4 years. I'm Suzanne Atwell, the current mayor of the city of Sarasota. I've been a commissioner 4 years, mayor 2 years. What I bring and why I want to run again, because I think we need continuity. I bring continuity, I bring consistency. I bring institutional knowledge that I have gained over the past 4 years. One of the things that I think is real important, overarching all the issues that you're going to deal with, that we're going to deal with, is a commission that has respect, collegiality, consensus, a relationship with each other in order to make good decisions for you. I think you need to do that. I think I have brought great civility to our commission in very challenging times. As the only incumbent up here, I know all too well that I'm governing. I've governed for the last 4 years. It's when you campaign, you often campaign on the edges of issues, that if I'm elected, I will bring this. If you elect me, I will bring that. But governing, and I've done it for 4 years, has to be done from the center. And that's where the spirit of compromise comes in. Governing demands the spirit of compromise. As mayor twice, I have to tell you, I really believe I've been a good ambassador to this city. We'll get into some other issues here, but I think I represent the city well. As mayor, I have met with hundreds of people that I would not have met if I wasn't appointed mayor, to help me craft policy, because that's what it's all about, crafting policy based on the information you get from everybody else. One of my main focuses is, and I've learned over the last 4 years, is how we move the economy forward. How do we take this extraordinary community downtown and beyond to all the way up to Glen Oaks? How do we make it a progressive, forward-thinking community and city? And I think I can do that. What's critical and why I want to be front and center for the next 4 years is a new generation of staff on City Hall. We have an extraordinary new city manager, new chief of police, who happens to be the first female police chief in over 100 years, top direct reports, utilities, HR, CFO. This is a new generation. This is going to be fresh eyes, fresh faces, and I want to be on board as we deal with the issues that we're going to be talking about soon, I'm sure. So I'm ready and rested to go another 4 years. Thank you.
Who's number three?
I am.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Pete Tyson. Tax-paying residents of Sarasota face 2 threats from the government: being made to pay tax to support official tax breaks and freebies to business and government, and the other threat is being blown out of bed at night by noise from inconsiderate people that the government lets make all the noise they want whatsoever, whenever. Now, this is up for a vote right now. They're going to revise the noise ordinance, and it might be citywide. Tavern on the Green? Could happen. You'd hear it. You have 4 people running for city commission that are in the pockets of these business and development interests. They will sell you out in a heartbeat, regardless of how slick they look or how smooth they talk while they're in front of you.
Careful about what you say about other people, Kate.
No names.
Okay, keep it that way.
This has been happening for 50 years. Special interests want to build their buildings and attractions, then have the taxpayers pick up half of their payroll and all of their infrastructure impacts and listen to their noise. Well, you are the taxpayers. This is not a panhandler asking you for $1. This is a siphon into your bank account from your account to theirs, from their guitar amplifier to your ear, whenever they want, as loud as they want. You can tell the hand-picked, bought and paid for candidates by the amounts of money they have in their campaigns, by the size of their signs, and the code words that show up in their speeches. Culture of no, closed to business, or open to business, depending on the context. Vibrant or vibrant downtown, that means no old people. Their supporters are worse, but that's for a later speech. There are two others, other than these four, running for the same two seats. Neighborhood people who will stand for you on impacts and noise. I am one of them. You can trust us.
Okay, who's number 4? Linda.
I'm number 4. Good morning. My name is Linda Holland. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to tell you about myself, and then at the end of the forum here, I'll be able to give you some information that has a little more detail. So I'm going to try and not recite everything. You'll have the opportunity to get that a little bit later. Basically, I've been in Sarasota for 32 years, relocated from the Washington, D.C. area, and I moved into the Gillespie Park neighborhood. I needed to help improve that neighborhood and do some things to help reduce the crime. So I immediately had to become very much involved in the whole city processes. And so for 32 years, that's what I've been doing. But I've also, even with the activity and the involvement I've had in neighborhoods, because it wasn't just limited to Gillespie Park. I've worked in many of the neighborhoods throughout the city. I did form my own neighborhood association, helped others form their neighborhood associations, and helped found the Coalition of City Neighborhood Associations. I've also served on a number of city and county boards, and again, they're too numerous for me to tell you right now, but they're listed on my website or on my material. So I've been a civic participant for 32 years, but I've also been a business owner. I'm a licensed real estate broker, and for all of those 30 years, I've had residential rental units, and I manage over 50 residential rental units. That's given me a real insight in working with people and having to make decisions on a daily basis. And I know the financial end of trying to keep a small business together. So I feel like I have a very good balance of the neighborhood protection and preservation, but also the understanding of the business side of the equation. I started out, even with my rental properties, I worked full-time jobs. I worked in land development with the Palmer Ranch when it was just cow pasture out there, and look at the beautiful development it is today. Then I went to affordable housing, and I've worked a lot with providing clean and decent housing to moderate and low-income families throughout the entire city. So I have a good background in that. And then my last regular job before I decided I needed to go into the property management full-time was with the Nature Conservancy. And so I worked with the county on the acquisition of environmentally sensitive lands. So again, I have a broad-based background and experience, and I'll share other things with you as we continue.
Number 5.
Good morning. My name is Kelvin Lumpkin, and I'm a native of Sarasota. I've lived here all close to 40 years. December will be 40 years. I'm the pastor of the Light of the World Church, which is just around the corner here on the corner of 17th and Beneva. And I love this great city. This is where I've lived all my life, and where me and my wife, who's here today with our 2 little girls, where we've decided to raise our little girls. And there's no other place we'd rather live. When I came back from college, when I finished school, I was the administrator of a nursing home, of a skilled nursing facility for a season. Then I went into full-time ministry, and we tried to use those years to try to serve the community and to serve my neighborhood. And so I tried to do that, and in the midst of serving, I think you're always looking for other ways to serve and to help somebody else. And this is why I'm running ultimately for city commission. This is a kind of interesting spot for me to be in, because I am an admitted political junkie, but I do have kind of a love-hate relationship with politics. Maybe I went in a bit green, just wanting to help, wanting to serve, but then you have to contend with all these other things. And some of the stuff that I think bring government to a halt and just keeps us mired in pettiness and who gave to you and this and that. And so I find it ironic when I have done most of my services community, all of it, helping neighborhoods, then some will say that you want business, which I do. But I reject the notion that that means that wanting growth is tantamount to being anti-neighborhood. That couldn't be any further from the truth. And so, you know, when you get elected, whoever of us six get elected, we have to be mindful that we've got to serve the interest of everybody. And we've got to help everybody. This is not a partisan race. It shouldn't be. But we've got to serve not only those who elected us, but those who didn't. And so if a person can't make that shift, then government is going to become toxic. If you just cater to one group, whether it be neighborhoods or business or whatever, then that's going to lead to a lot of toxicity. And so we've got to serve everybody and try to do what's best for both. I think that's the challenge of the job, trying to make the right decision. But I think the key to that is just listening to everybody. And if we don't agree, that doesn't mean that we should be disrespectful or can't get along. And when we do that, then the citizens ultimately suffer from that. And I think I know I'm weary of that, and maybe you are too. And so my pledge, and as Mayor Atwell rightly said, and I've tried to be very measured and not saying I'm going to do this, do that. Because first of all, you're going to be one of 5 commissioners. You're not going to be a strong mayor. You just do this, do that. But we better listen to everybody, and we better get along with the other commissioners. If not, the citizens, we all will pay the price for it. And so we all have a stake in seeing this city become what it should be, and we've all got to play a part in that. And so that's the one thing I can promise without any reservation, is that I'm going to do my darndest to listen to everybody and suspend judgment until I've heard every perspective. Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking to you more.
Richard?
I'm actually number 9, so I was waiting
Oh,
for
no,
someone.
turn it the other way. I just.
Come on, it's 6.
Sorry, I meant to put a line under it.
Oh, Millie, come on. Hi, I'm Richard Dorfman, and thank you all for coming out on this beautiful Saturday. It's a pretty nice Saturday to come out to listen to us. Obviously, you're concerned with what's going on in our community. You're concerned with what's going on in our city government. And I'm glad you're out here giving us the opportunity to speak with you. A little bit about my background. I was born in New York City, grew up in northern New Jersey in a very small town. I lived in a 200-year-old house. We had a tiny little community. That little community taught me a lot about respecting the neighborhood, respecting our community, and trying to do what's right for our neighborhoods. I went to school in Washington, D.C., and then moved back to New York, and my career has been in the sports and entertainment industry. Have you all seen Jerry Maguire, the movie Jerry Maguire? I was the Jerry Maguire guy, only about a foot taller. What I did was represent television rights. I represented people like Wimbledon and the Soccer World Cup and the NFL and the PGA, USGA, things like that. And I sold their television rights all around the world. I first visited Sarasota in 1977, fell in love with it. I stayed out at the Colony. I said, someday I hope I can retire here. About 8 years ago, I bought my home here. I bought a condo downtown, and I ran for office for the first time 2 years ago. I ran in District 1. And I guess the reason I took to politics, I was very happily retired, was the passion that I just felt for this community. And I looked around and I said, there were certain things I didn't think were quite right, certain things weren't going well. And I said, well, put your money where your mouth is, try to make those changes you would like to see made. And at that time, the big thing that disturbed me was the North Trail. I really thought we needed to do something to clean up the North Trail. It's the gateway into our beautiful community, and it doesn't really reflect what our community is all about. So I lost the election. I lost it in the runoff to 16 votes. I missed the runoff. My friend Linda Holland went on to contest that election, and she is my friend. We are good friends. Most of the people sitting here, we are friends with each other. What I think we have to look at is, through my 25 years of negotiating experience, what it has taught me is that there is value in bringing people to the middle. We've had too much of neighborhood versus business, too much polarization, We have to find a way to bring people into the middle. We have to find the ability to compromise for the greater good. And that's what I've done for 25 years in my career. I brought people into the center. And I hope to bring all of Sarasota into the center. Thank you so much.
Okay, I don't have very many questions, and interestingly enough, most of them have to do with one issue that this area is extremely concerned about. There is one other here. The question is, we know that, no, that's not the one I want. The role of the commissioners is to create the vision and regulations. They are not supposed to be involved in administration. Do you intend to follow our charter or support an elected administrator?
Do you mean an elected mayor?
I don't know.
I think that's
I
probably
think
right.
that's what it means, elected.
I can start with that.
Okay.
Or unless we're going, are you doing the numbers back
No,
the other way?
actually, I was gonna start at that end and come down, and then
Okay.
next time I'm gonna start in the middle somewhere.
Okay, what I'll say to that is, and having been a commissioner for 4 years and mayor for the past 2 years, albeit a ceremonial mayor, we have a city manager, council form of government, commission form of government here. I've been in this community 20 years. What time do we have for this? Oh, okay. My profession here was a psychotherapist, and I worked with our most disenfranchised in community mental health. So I have a real strong purview of the entire community. This is at large. We deal with every district. What I have seen in the past more than 4 years, probably the last 15 years, is what I like to call fractional leadership. Leadership that an issue comes up, a neighborhood has a strong passion for a particular issue that's coming before the commission, and they will, usually a leader emerges in that, and then we either vote for it or against it, and then that leader may go back in the womb of the neighborhood. We have inconsistent leadership, depending on the issue, and that's fine. We always need neighborhood leaders to come in. What I would like to see, and I want to look into, I don't want to say strong mayor, the elected mayor, so that we could get someone that would represent, and what we've all been saying, how do we, how does the twain meet? I'm tired of this rift between neighborhoods versus development. If we could get a leader in that is elected, now the language, I'm not prepared to say that. That's a while to come as to what the language is in an elected mayor. But I think we need new leadership that can tackle the entire problem. Is that a warning or is that it?
That was a warning.
Oh, okay. I think the city of Sarasota is ready for that right now. That doesn't mean that we're going to go and get a boss mayor like in a major city in the community. We have an extraordinary community, and I think it has risen to the level now. And as far as we've had 3 iterations of an elected mayor, and it's gone down. That doesn't mean that we can't look at this again. The demographics in this, especially downtown, are changing. Everything is changing in this community. People are moving here. The real estate market's on quite an uptick. So we're looking at some exciting times, and I think we need to have that umbrella of an elected mayor that's in for 3 or 4 years that we can count on. Thank you.
I'm a strong supporter of the current system of the city manager council form of government. It is a 19th century anti-corruption model, which has become the modern corporate model, collaborative leadership. And in fact, research shows that this is the good government model. Mr. Dorfman talked about the war between developers and neighborhoods, and we have to reach compromise. The last elected mayor initiative tells you about the war. We as neighborhoods want to live our lives, but the development community always insists on fighting us. And we have tried to reach compromises as neighborhoods. And the development community keeps funding this elected mayor initiative time after time. The last time, 2009, I chaired the effort on behalf of preserving our system of government. We were outspent by the development community $110,000 to $10,000, 11 to 1. that the citizens rejected that initiative 65% to 35%, as they had rejected 2 times before. They rejected in charter review committees, they have rejected it 3 or 4 times also. So to talk about that now is the time, how many times do we have to say no before they get it? The reality is that over, or 30 seconds, the reality is studies show that professional management is 10% more efficient. A recent study of the best managed cities in the country, that 80% of the top 10 best managed cities in the country, or 20 cities, were the same system that we have now. 64% of the cities our size have this form of government. Let's stick with it. When are the citizens and the voters of this community going to receive the respect we deserve, that we want professional management in this city, not political management?
Thank you. Linda?
We don't have leadership, that's the problem. It's not working. We haven't had much luck with our last city managers. And I've been in this community for many, many years. And when this initiative started a number of years ago, it was because people said, we have no leadership, and we need to change that. It hasn't changed. Granted, we didn't get it right in the proper form for 3 times. That doesn't mean that we stopped trying. I've run for city commission, this is my 3rd time. So if you use the argument that something has been rejected before, then I shouldn't be up here, Pete shouldn't be up here, Susan shouldn't be up here.
I ran for judge, not city commission, I'm sorry.
Well, you ran for an elected office.
Okay.
Anyway, the premise that because something has been rejected before, we can't ever consider it again. This is a democracy. We can consider, everything. That's why we live here. So I'm pretty passionate about that, just because I think it's an option, and we can't take options off the table. We need to consider them, and we as citizens have a right to consider it again. So I support at least giving the elected mayor consideration. I don't believe that we should shut it down just because it hasn't passed before. Thank you.
Richard?
I too am a supporter of the elected mayor, with caveats. I think we should have an elected mayor with checks and balances. I would like to see 5 single district commissions, not three districts and 2 at large, 5 commissioners who represent all